If anybody else trickles in, and please, it looks like we can tell who's there, but in case we can't, we just need to document who has attended today. So thank you all so much for coming to this neighborhood review meeting, or citizen review as it's called. It's a requirement. I'll get to that in 1 second. I'll hop right in. Paul, do you have any questions?
No, Dana, thank you. If you need anything from me, let me know.
You got it. Can you let me know if you can see that screen, my PowerPoint presentation? All right, perfect. Very good. Well, again, welcome everybody. Yeah, I think everybody in the audience, am I looking at everybody there on the left or as looking out the front door there on the right-hand side? Okay, very good. Well, thank you all for taking the time out of your busy days and evening here to come learn a little bit more about this rezoning request. Try and make good use of your time. Real quick, what is the planned area development? And just to let you know what this is an amendment to an existing planned area development that was adopted, and I'll touch on that but shortly. But what is a planned area development? So our zoning code has some provisions for that. And you can see here, a planned area development has the purpose of, it's an overlay district to allow for innovative design and flexibility in projects which are planned for development as a cohesive unit, such as this one, a master plan, basically. The intent of this district is to provide for creative, high-quality development which incorporates the following: A, substantial open space or recreational facilities held in common ownership. That's, I think this request kind of checks all those boxes as the original Mariposa PAD. Provide private or public streets, the preservation, and this project is proposed to do a little bit of both. The preservation of significant aspects of natural character of the land. It is compact particularly in the hillside and the sensitive area. Building design, site design, and amenities that create a unique alternative to conventional development. And that's correct. This is quite a blend of different housing types and uses, and a mixture of uses, including commercial and hospitality and so forth. So it very much is that, as well as property owners association and recorded covenants, conditions, and restrictions. It will be required to have CC&Rs, as any subdivision is required to have these days, residential subdivision. So with that, keep on rolling through here. PAD is a zoning ordinance. Basically, it's just like our zoning code. It becomes a part of the code, and the procedure to amend a code or to rezone a property or amend an existing PAD or to adopt a new PAD requires these three public meeting components. First being of the required citizen neighborhood review meeting, which is why we're here tonight, so thank you. Then secondly, if after that hearing or after that meeting is held, we're allowed to move forward with the hearings at the Planning and Zoning Commission, which is scheduled for April 3rd at 6 p.m., where they'll hold a public hearing, give the public an opportunity to speak again. I think you all probably received notices of that meeting, of all of these meetings, actually. And then finally, Planning and Zoning Commission will be making a recommendation, ideally, to the City Council. And so the City Council is scheduled to hold a public hearing on April 9th. Quick overview of the project history. Mariposa PAD was adopted back in June 23rd of 2015. Didn't receive any applications since that time. It was just essentially shelved for the period. So I know somebody was working in putting together a deal for a while, or development on the site, and that it had not come to fruition until Montaday and Tess and Brian came forward with this proposed PAD amendment and project. So Marigold, as you know, came through with a height request. The existing PAD has an allowance for additional heights given certain criteria are met. I think you were all at that meeting, and that Planning and Zoning Commission approved that. And what it was a first phase, kind of a preliminary phase, just to see if Montaday could achieve the height which would equal the density that they would need to make this a successful development for them. That would being the phase one. Phase two would then be the more specific plan, or more basically what we're looking at through the zoning case before us. And when we were reviewing their submission for that phase two approval process, we recognized that some the residential setbacks in the single-family detached side or phase one weren't compliant with the setbacks in that code. So that said, obviously it would require a rezone in that case to amend the setbacks to allow. So once we opened that process up, a couple things we were able to just, okay, let's take care of the site plan in conjunction with this and have a conceptual site plan attached to that PAD, which is the plan that you've already seen and with some slight tweaks and proposed, as well as looking at those listed permitted uses that are in the existing PAD and modify those to make things a little more advantageous for the developer. And I'll touch on what those are shortly here. So the scope of this proposed amendment to this Mariposa PAD are first to reduce the phase one setback. So again, that single family east side of the development, that phase one, the residential minimum, it would reduce the phase one residential minimum interior front and street side setbacks. And again, these are all interior, how the houses are situated on the lots. They're moving them forward. And secondly, residential minimum lot sizes are reduced slightly as well. And to allow for these, you'll see in the site plan, more townhome or more row home type of concept where they're a little more compact, as well as some patio homes that are all equally compact and just a different cluster type of housing configuration. 3 product types in total there. Just to give you a heads up, the interior front setback for the conventional homes, which is the lion's share of those detached homes, I think there's about 100 of them, are our R16 zoning code, our existing zoning code that would apply to this that size of a lot, have an allowance for a 10-foot front setback for side entry garages or livable portions of the structure. So that really isn't a new idea or code that the city's not unfamiliar with. Just giving you that heads up. That's the amendment that they're requesting for those single-family homes. Rear setbacks, side yard setbacks, everything else are the same.